Than we...
When do we go live again?
I don't know. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're glad that you made it through the Easter weekend. We're even more glad that you made it through April Fool's Day, the worst of all fake holidays on the calendar.
So bad.
Absolutely the worst. Absolutely the worst. But we're glad you're here with us on What's on Joe Mind. We'll be back with you momentarily. But first, you must listen to our kick-ass theme song. Stay with us. Hey, everybody. It's Tuesday night. It's 9:05. Good that you stayed through the Superstation presentation of Blue Thunder tonight. We are What's on Joe Mind, a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. How's everybody doing?
How am I doing? 5-0, baby. Wait. Yeah, 5-0, baby.
No one can tell the team hat that you're wearing, Mark.
Let's go, Yankees.
Because it's the hat of shame for a team that has no shame. That's right. It's a Yankees cap.
Out of the shadows.
Yeah.
So good.
Snake Eyes edition.
So good.
Dustin Jeffrey says
it doesn't suck.
Dustin Jeffrey says April Fool's Day is a better fake holiday than Valentine's Day. I disagree.
No.
Valentine's Day is not a favorite. But April Fool's Day is the absolute worst. It's comedy day for amateurs. Leave the amateur comedy to us.
It's a day when people who don't know what funny is showcase it.
Right.
Oh,
another thing about Valentine's Day, it brings us February 15th, which is one of those magical days on the calendar, half-price candy days.
Right. I mean, if nothing else, Valentine's Day is a day with a lot of chocolate flying around, and that's never a bad thing.
Yeah.
So you can take all the it's a Hallmark holiday bulk, throw it out. It doesn't count. Doesn't matter. It's all balanced out. Chocolate. Discount chocolate.
Although this year you got all the discount chocolate from Easter on that day, so.
Okay, Phil.
Yesterday.
So for the one time in every 27 years or whatever,
here you go.
You have a point.
Yeah,
but that has nothing to do with it. So you can't give it any credit.
Totally coincidence.
Complete coincidence. Rec Ship 85 notes. Don't forget the Tums Valentine's candies. Exactly. Exactly. Anyways, joining me here in the top row. He's the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe team at Hasbro. It's the hot show, Mark Weber.
Right? And dig it. I'm in total stealth mode tonight, right? Like, just creeping around. Can't wait. I got some hot takes I'm going to drop. It's going to be incredible.
Are they reckless hot takes?
We'll see.
Did you say reckless hot takes?
Yes. Absolutely. So good.
I hope I get to use that button in context. I've had that thing ready to go for like a month, and nobody has had a reckless hot take because really it's not what we do here. But at least I know I've got a button. I've got a button for it when it happens.
There's so much internet drama these days, and I'm not involved in any of it. So I think I'm coming out swinging.
I know. It makes me feel like we're missing the boat.
Right? Who wants some?
But Oscar Wilde once said that the only thing worse than people talking bad about you is nobody talking about you at all. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but yeah, we know how that goes. In the bottom row, he is our comic expert, Racktime Rob.
Hi.
He's got that canned sound of a microphone that wants to go out but isn't quite dead yet.
Yep.
We got to get him.
Speaking through a tin cup and a string, it's very reliable.
We got to get him a new $12.95 set of earbuds.
Soup was good food.
At some point in today's show, I'm going to go up those stairs, and then I'm going to magically reappear through the open door behind Racktime Rob and scare the out of them.
I mean, that would scare the shit. That would be legitimate because that's a closet.
Yeah.
Right? It's so good. Look, man, I'm a man with a certain set of skills.
Andrew Gauguin calls you Mark the Creeper Weber.
I'll take it.
In addition, he calls you Mark the Weber.
Oh, with 2 B's. A pox on your house.
But no, because that nickname is one who makes webs.
Oh,
2 B's
okay.
is that. I mean, he's giving you a job in your nickname. So
when the lovely Mrs. Weber was pregnant with our first child, we found out it was going to be a boy, and my first name suggestion was Spider, which got thrown right out.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And then I came in church. I whispered in her ear, "How about Cain?" Right out, man.
Basically, she's throwing out all the names that would have doomed him to a life in a motorcycle gang.
Could you imagine Cain Weber? That's pretty slick.
Should have gone with Weaver.
Although
Weaver
Cain
Weber.
Weber sounds like a villain from Dynasty.
Yeah, it kind of does. But
It sounds like Payne Weber the golfer.
ooh, we ended up with Derek. That's fine.
Yeah. When he gets older, he can go with Rick.
That's not a bad idea.
When he in college, trying to impress girls, he can go with Rick. Rick Weber.
I'm Rick Weber.
With sports, Rick Weber.
Better than the opposite.
My middle name is Hot Stuff. Yeah.
I mean, Rick Weber is better than the other name for Richard.
Yes, that's true.
Well, it's not Richard. It's short for Derek. And I know that's not how he spells it, but spelling isn't that important.
And then he would be confused with Hall of Fame PBA bowler.
I go by Rick. It's short for Derek. Yeah.
Or if he wants to sound continental, Derek.
Derek Coleman says, Derek is a fine name. You chose wisely, Mark.
Not bad. Oh, I had half the say in that. But
he could be biased.
Everybody gets veto power, right? So if Michelle didn't like it, out it went. If I didn't like it, out it went. Boom.
Michael Gene Fleming should have named the first kid Charcoal and the second Propane. There you go.
Not a bad idea.
Little insight.
But then they would have known who the favorite is.
Right.
Because nobody wants a Propane Weber.
Nothing like getting sued by a company about your legal name for fun.
That just gives you the ability to turn the tables.
Look, let's give kudos while we're doing names to former head of the Joe Collector Club, Brian Savage, who named one of his sons Maverick. Like, are you kidding me?
I'm not giving any props there because that kid's name should be Randy.
It should, but maybe that's his middle name. If he was Maverick Randy Savage, holy.
Okay, all right. I'll allow that. Okay.
Yeah.
While we're handing out kudos, why don't we go ahead and hand out some kudos to our fourth chair tonight? He is formerly live from WonderCon.
Oh yeah.
The man who recorded the proceedings and was there for all of you to watch, and for other less scrupulous channels to completely repurpose your footage. But that's fine. We just told people to tune into your channel because we're good to you, Phil. Phil Donnelly is on the program tonight. Round of applause for Phil Donnelly.
Thank you. I appreciate the shout out, by the way.
What we got here?
Hey, if I'm going to a convention and I'm streaming a panel, I'm glad if people are actually watching it. So yes, thank you for sharing.
Right. I'm just saying that we shared it. There were other folks that repurposed it on their own channel.
Hey, stealing is caring.
Right. Right. Josiah Alcorn says WonderCon was at Disney. It may as well have been.
It was actually across the street from Disney.
Oh.
And you think I'm joking? I'm literally not. Catella Avenue, right between.
So you correct me if I'm wrong. You weren't sure you were going to get in, or you weren't sure you were going to be allowed to tape, or both?
Both, because there's never a guarantee you're going to get into the panel, especially one that's got Star Wars, Marvel, Ghostbusters, Transformers in it all in one.
Okay.
Right.
And at San Diego Comic-Con, streaming was allowed in the Hasbro panel, but it was not allowed in the Skybound panel, which is why I had to live tweet that one. So you never know ahead of time.
So you had a fast pass.
I had a methodology to try and get me in there and ensure I'd be in there, but it's never a 100% guarantee.
Well, regardless, you got it done. Attaboy.
Yeah. You even got good seats. It was a good view of the panel as a whole.
Yeah, I could have gone for another seat that would have probably given me a better view of the screen, but I was worried about people's heads in the way, and I went for the front seat.
Then you failed. If you could have done better, then you failed, clearly.
I guarantee that I get a good shot, but then I block the people behind me, or I guarantee I get a decent shot.
Care about the people behind you? You cared about us. We're watching.
Right.
Well,
we're your bread and butter, Phil.
Phil cares because they were the ones who could have pummeled him senseless at that moment.
Or kicked me out.
Right.
How about we just thank Biff for his hard work?
That's right.
Well, we've already done that. Now it's time to mock criticize.
That's right. You got to pick holes in there.
We've expressed our true feelings. Now it's time to pick on Phil.
I mean, he must be exhausted providing all that unique content for all those channels.
Right. Right.
Holding up the entire fandom on these shoulders.
I know.
It's got to be sore. He's got that low back pain going. Just ooh.
His new nickname is Atlas.
I'm in the chair with the lumbar support right now.
Right.
But again, thank you, Phil. You're a gentleman and a scholar. We appreciate the hard work and the effort and the hustle that goes into all that stuff. So we'll I'll keep this limited because we don't really discuss these particular lines. But out of Star Wars, Transformers, and Marvel, Phil, what's one thing that stuck out for you? What was your favorite there?
That retro She-Hulk. Frankly, I'm a She-Hulk fan, so seeing that in a new sculpt, a lot of like muscle detail, which is separating from the regular slimmer female build, so it actually looks like She-Hulk and not just supermodel in green. I appreciate that.
Stygian 360 asks the important question: did it have free parking?
Technically, no, but I had free parking anyway because of my Disney pass.
All right, there we go. So, kinda. Welcome to the show, Stygian 360. That's a new name. I don't think we've seen that before. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, if you've joined us before, we appreciate you too. Remember to do all that cool YouTube stuff for us. Hit the like button that's down there and hit the subscribe button that's down there. I got it right the first time that time.
Ooh,
you're getting better at this.
Like you've been here before.
Almost like it took 100 tries. Be sure to leave us a big boy comment down below. And of course, share us in all your social media channels, be that Facebook groups or Reddit pages, whatever. Just share us around. We don't care.
What you don't see is that he's got little Post-it notes on the bottom of the screen pointing out where is where.
I thought about doing that. I thought about doing that, but I'm far too lazy. Of course, if you're on Facebook tonight, go ahead and give us some kind of a reaction. Give us a thumbs up or a heart or a little huggy guy. We do love little huggy guy. Mm-hmm. Just whatever it does, it all accelerates the algorithm over there and makes things work for us on Facebook. We don't get a whole lot of traction out of Facebook. I don't know how much longer we're going to live cast on Facebook. I think we might consolidate, just try to get everybody onto the YouTube channel, but we'll see. I know they did send us that whopping $2.85 last month, so maybe we're picking up steam.
You're in the money.
JLS Comics says 303 episodes later, he finally gets it right. In fairness, that first 100 were entirely audio, so there's nothing to point to anytime on those. So only about 200 episodes, and a few. Go ahead.
This check is made out to What's on Joe Mind for $2.10. If you want to give Ringo less, that's up to you.
If you got a couple of dollars laying around, we do have a coffee account. The link to that is down below. If you give us $1 a month, pledge just $1 a month, it gets your name in the credits at the end of the show. We don't do that special release bonus content stuff. If we're good, whatever we do, it's good enough for everybody, right? We're not going to be elitists and only provide content to people who pay for it. That is bull crap. When we start getting to a point where we're taking on ads to make money, well, that'd be a different. We'll reconfigure things then. But for right now, this is a fan cast. It's a free show, a 2-bit slime show, as it were. So we got nothing going on.
But
2
with
bits.
your
I paid
help,
3 bits to be on here.
yeah, with your help, we could be a 3-bit slideshow by the end of the year. Fingers crossed.
Not without that subscribe button.
Hey,
What
2 in a
about
row.
What about that subscribe button? Or maybe this subscribe button.
That's for cards. Which
All of a
nobody
sudden,
ever uses.
we're a Spider-Man meme. That's awesome.
Right. We're all just pointing at one another. Oh. Oh, Lordy. Oh, Lord. Okay. So, Ragtime Rob, what stuck out to you out of those 3 properties?
Out of those 3, I'm kind of along the lines with Phil. Those Iron Man retro figures have some nice figures in them. I think after I go through the Joe ordering Thursday, which we'll get to later, I'll double back in and see what Iron Man figures I want to do.
Get that Count Nefaria so you can finally kill off Thunderbird.
I know Phil watched the show, and I know Rob watched the panel because we had it on a big TV over here. Mark, did you watch the panel?
I did not.
All right, fair enough.
And not because I'm elitist or because I'm cool, but legit, that's kind of hard for me. I'll get the news after, right?
It was Saturday night at 6 o'clock Eastern. You have like a family.
I do.
So I wasn't putting any kind of Phil was there. Rob and I have nothing to do. So yeah, we're gonna watch. But Mark, you got like people that count on you and shit. So
like dinner, you were doing dinner.
It's hard to watch someone do your old job worse than you. So, and that's not meant to be a slap. It's just the truth. So,
hey,
from my perspective, that's why it's hard for me. So,
we get it.
We get it.
We get it. It's not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, on that note, let's move into happier pastures with community calendar. I found the new community calendar intro tonight, so we will actually see the new. But I do have to set us up with the most recent one beforehand, and then we'll watch the new one at the end.
Brace yourselves, people.
Oh boy.
You should try one. They're breathtaking.
Community calendar. Community calendar.
We've seen that one.
We should see it. What did I say before I hit the button? I said we're going to watch the new one at the end.
Well, I thought we had one last week that you didn't show.
I said I found it, but it's going to be at the end.
I thought there was yet another new one. So
no.
Somebody's failing the quiz at the end.
Right.
Rob's drinking again.
He must be. God damn.
At least we're not seeing his drinking problem.
I'm on spring break. I don't care.
It's just he's got 7 empty rum bottles in his room. It's only Tuesday.
That's the drinking problem. They're all empty.
The drinking problem is he bought 9, so there's still a couple left. Sean Russell asked, does the Yeti Funko Pop have a name? That's not the Yeti Funko Pop. That's the Roma Collectibles Funko Pop. And that's the Roma Yeti. That's his name, Roma Yeti.
We call him Steve.
Steve Roma.
I will have to ask Aaron and Mary Mercenary. I will have to ask them what the Yeti's name is.
The Yeti's name is Paul. Paul Roma.
See, now that would be, those guys being the wrestling fans they are would probably dig that.
Yeah, except that would make the Yeti suck.
Stanley the Yeti.
Look, maybe they're just trying to get Paul Roma some love. Like Paul Roma was good in a tag team.
Yeah, you know what? He wasn't bad. He just never should have been a horseman.
Yeah, that was overstepping a little bit. They perhaps overcalculated Paul Roma's potential at that point. Anyways, first up.
Look, Derek Holland
right on top, man. Paul Roma, the worst horseman. Well, yeah.
Worse than Mongo.
Hey, look, Mongo had some entertainment value. I'm not going to say Mongo's a great wrestler or anything, but Mongo stomping around and screaming at people, I was in.
Mongo,
Mike-
only pawn in game of life.
That's
Mike,
right.
you want to pull up the comment from Jeff Butler there?
Looks like
I used that exact quote last week. So
Nice.
I think that's what he's quoting, Rob.
Yeah.
It's yeah. See, Dustin Jeffrey, he's with me. Mongo McMichael is a Hall of Famer.
So is Coco Beware.
Look, Coco Beware stomping around, yelling at people had some entertainment value. Steve Mongo McMichael is not the worst man to have the U.S. title around his waist.
No, I'm not ripping on Mongo. I'm just saying, is he the second worst horseman? Probably.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're pulling off a horseman, that's
Yeah.
It depends on your. I would say it depends on your on how you classify Jeff Jarrett. If you think Jeff Jarrett is in
No.
that double J, Jeff Jarrett is the worst.
No. Jarrett's not in.
But I would say also no. But I know there are other folks who argue yes, and being as it was 25 years ago or more, it's not really worth arguing about. But anyways, moving on. Steel City Con. That's happening not next weekend, but the weekend after. Steel City Con knows better than to collide with WrestleMania. That's all I'm saying about that. Guests include Christian Cage, John Carpenter, Gina Davis, Heather Graham, Ernie Hudson, John Rhys-Davies, the comedy stylings of Matt Rubin and Bart, Susan Sarandon, Booker T, Sting! Sunday only. And the entire cast of Beverly Hills 90210 and the Breakfast Club.
Way to tailor this advertising to the demographics.
Oh. How does Tony Schiavone do that week after week?
Not anymore.
Well, no, thank God. I mean, Tony's voice was going to give out. He probably gave Sting an ultimatum. Look, dude, you got to hang him up or I'm going to go completely hoarse all the time. You need more tickets or more information, they got it for you at steelcitycon.com. This is going down at the Monroeville Convention Center in Monroeville, Pennsylvania, just outside the Steel City of Pittsburgh. Matt Rubin, be sure to chime in on the live chat there if you're going to be there. Bart has already confirmed his attendance, so we want to make sure you're in it going to be there if we're going to advertise you.
We're waiting on it.
Yeah, well, I know he's in the live chat, so
Did he bail?
we'll say hello. We'll say hello to White Vegeta in the meantime.
Right.
Hello.
Should we send Hal McRae home on the single to left? I'll wait for your feedback.
Do it.
Oh, Matt Rubin says probably not.
Boo.
I may go see Sting on Sunday, but I don't like to. Well, I mean, it's fair. Steel City Con is not a cheapie. You got to pay a decent dime to get in on Steel City Con, but they do have a number of folks available to you, and it does have something of a geeky connotation, unlike so many of the pop culture cons out there.
Super Bowl quarterback Neil O'Donnell will be signing autographs in the gutter out front.
Hey,
They
look,
don't
Matt-
let him in this close to Pittsburgh city limits.
Matt may have baseball to watch this year, so
You never know.
The Pirates are 5-0,
yeah.
much like our Yankees, much like Phil's Yankees, 5-0.
Phil's Yankees.
Hop on board, Phil.
Come on,
Go to the
Phil.
World Series.
I jump back and forth between Dodgers and Angels, whoever's got more wins.
So the Dodgers.
Oh,
then.
So you're not
always
doing a
on
lot
the
of
Dodgers.
jumping, are you?
Not in 2002. But also, whoever I get tickets for from provided to me.
Andrew Gaugen notes that Monroeville, Pennsylvania is the home of the Zombie Mall in Dawn of the Dead 78. That's the Dawn of the Dead Mall to be a part of. That right there.
Mhm. Definitely.
Is
If
it
you're
itself
ranking-
a zombie mall now?
If you're ranking Dawn of the Dead zombie malls, that's got to be top of your list.
Top tier.
Yeah.
Top
And-
tier. That
and-
is general level.
And the
Either
worst,
first or second.
the
one of those.
worst zombie mall ever was Paul Roma. Easily Paul Roma. Next worst, Jim Powers. Yep.
Dustin Jeffrey notes that's former Titan
Titan
backup
quarterback.
quarterback Neil O'Donnell. I prefer to call him Jets great Neil O'Donnell.
Right? The Jets paid him a lot. And
What's
Pittsburgh was
funny
like,
is
go ahead.
Old high and wide.
Neil O'Donnell is famous for throwing two picks in that Super Bowl. When he retired, he was the quarterback with the lowest career interception percentage.
I didn't know that.
He threw picks less often than every other quarterback that played before him, and we know him for throwing picks.
And he threw them both to the same guy. They were both backbreakers, and the Raiders paid that guy like $50 million because he was a big time corner.
6 weeks later,
and he sucked.
He was terrible.
Oh,
he threw 2 no contest picks. Like, it would be one thing if he made Larry Brown have to move one foot or the other to make these interceptions. No, he just
here you go.
Threw it to him like they wrote the play up.
Like he was a tire swing hanging from a branch.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he was colorblind.
Cheapest big spender says Steel City Con is expensive because Christian has to pay child support to all the kids he's got.
And give refunds to everyone who bought a ticket in Toronto for that terrible I Quit match you put out there.
Look, man, that wasn't he didn't book it.
Terrible.
He's just doing what they tell him to do. Christian Cage is the best thing going in AEW.
I got a problem with Christian or Adam Copeland, but you know what's great? An I Quit match when 6 other people don't run down and get involved.
Right. Well, my real hang up on it is when the good guy does stuff that's worse than what the heel did. Right. That's my problem with it.
Right. Absolutely.
Like that. It's just terrible.
Who's booking this? Oh.
Stigit asks, is there Joe news on your show about Joe Newton? Nah, not yet. Wait for it.
We may have a segment. We may have a segment for that.
We get there at some point.
We waste a lot of time in community calendar because there aren't many of them this week.
Go get a drink. Come back.
Anyways, next up.
Leave the video playing. Just take a nap. It's fine. We get the number.
The St. Tammany's Collector Con happening the following weekend. That's April 20th and 21st, rather. Hello to Cujo. You can see there the Sarge is going to be the big guest. He gets the big square. We got all those other guys in smaller squares, but they're not G.I. Joe related, so we're not going to give them the shine. Absolutely not.
Sarge would take all of those. 1 on 5.
It really could. It would be a handicap match for the ages. But that is, you can get more. You can get tickets and more information at StTammanyCollectorsCon.com. That is in Mandeville, Louisiana. A 2-day event.
Much like my bachelor party. Yeah.
I don't know if sleeping it off the next day makes it a 2-day event, Mark.
I had the tamest party of all time. Believe that.
I'm trying to think of how non-existent mine was. I don't know. The guy responsible for that sort of thing is on the show tonight, so he can certainly tell us all the prep that went into it.
Yeah, part of the prep was not inviting me, but whatever.
You didn't want to be a part of my batch. It was 20 years ago, and she turned out to be kind of a dud.
Well, that's why the party was better than the marriage.
He may have a point.
There were a lot of.
I'm not sure we had the party, and I think that statement is still true.
There are root canals better than that marriage. It's a matter of public record in Jackson County, Missouri. Matt Rubin, the AEW loyalist, says, folks complaining about people running in on an I Quit match. Just wait for WrestleMania Night 2 this year. That's not an I Quit match.
But I imagine there's going to be a lot of people running
in. Cheapest big spender, with the exasperation of a nation. Are you blanking kidding me? More free kids. Aren't they out of kids yet? Look, man, they have problems. They try to get these kids into homes. Those kids are free.
Thanks, pandemic.
That's right.
Matt Rubin
trapped
explains.
In our home with nothing to do.
People get bored. More kids appear. They have to come from somewhere. Yeah, well, you know.
I'm going to correct you here, Phil. Trapped at home with just one thing to do.
Those kids don't come out of nowhere, Phil. Or has nobody explained this to you yet?
I think I blocked that memory.
Coming up in our new segment.
Right. Explain the birds and the bees to Phil.
That's it.
In a new segment we like to call Transitions.
Right. And then after that, at 4:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, it's time for perspectives.
Time for perspectives.
Time for perspectives.
And then we'll finish up with another edition of Toy Man. That's coming up on May 5th.
Never goes away.
We're over a third of the way into this year already. Didn't we just have New Year's?
Didn't we just have a Toy Man show?
Well, yeah,
Yes.
but they do 8 of them a year, so whatever. You're
All right,
never too
given the-
far from a Toy Man.
Given the date of that show, nobody's going to be sober at that show.
Why?
Oh, yeah. Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Bueno.
Well, no, you get drunk afterwards. It's 9 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. Then you go get margaritas.
And you're not doing it right.
It's not
You know
St.
what?
Patrick's Day.
Screw the big drum. Hire a mariachi band to follow you around at Toy Man show.
That would
Now
be-
you're talking.
That that's an idea.
Yeah.
Then you can
Mariachi.
actually have the guy with the drum.
Get a mariachi tree like Phineas and Ferb.
Where's Perry?
Let me get my trumpet flare. It's Cinco de Mayo at Toy Man. There from 9 to 2. $5 gets you in the door. $15 gets you in for early bird an hour early. Parking is free. As with all good shows, Dave Draper hugs are priceless, provided he makes it. That is at the Machinist Stall out west on the west side of St. Louis, just north of the airport, or I think it's just north of the airport, but it's right by the airport. You can even fly into St. Louis. I don't know if I recommend that, but if you're anywhere close to St. Louis, Missouri, Toy Man is absolutely worth the trip. It's 2 full floors of toy show. They got guests, they got crafts, they got artists, they got bootleg DVDs, they got toys, all the way back to the 30s. You can't beat Toy Man. Toy Man's it's the best. It's absolutely the best. If you're in St. Louis, you don't go to Toy Man, you deserve a beating.
Mm-hmm.
That-
Willie McGee will be there this weekend, cosplaying as E.T. So that's good.
that is unconfirmed. They have in the past had scrubbier former Cardinals.
Jose Akendo is going to be there.
No, like Jose Kendo's beloved. He's not on the scrubby list. I'm talking guys like Kerry Robinson, things like that.
Oof.
The pride of SEMO baseball, Kerry Robinson.
Tom Herr.
No, Tom Herr was good.
Not in Minnesota, he wasn't.
No, not but
Hey.
he,
No, but
hate him
St.
in
Louis, that's all
Minnesota.
they care about.
he was old by that point. But Tommy Herr was great as a Cardinal.
No, yeah. I just remember Minnesota. They traded for him, and it was rotten. And they still hate him in Minnesota.
Well, he was like 38 at that point. What do you want, man?
Did they give up Tom Brunansky? We love Tom Brunansky.
Yeah, but he wasn't any good either. So I
That's
don't know what
true.
they're mad about.
It was an equal trade.
Oh, he still had a little pop left. He had a couple of good years in St. Louis, but
Hey, if
Not-
it's,
not many.
I do believe it's ladies' night at What's on Joe Mind. So I think Diana Davis has a pretty simple request.
I got to get back into my live chat comments. Hang on. Danny asks, sorry I'm late. Can we start again so I can get caught up? It sounds like a plan. Everybody, it's Tuesday
up?
night. It's 9:05. Welcome to What's on Joe Mind.
The
I'm
fact
your
that
host,
there are
Mike
people
Irizarry. How you doing?
enabling you for this is just
Oh, deja vu.
Thanks for watching Blue Thunder.
oops.
That would have been funnier if Rob wasn't, talking over the whole thing.
It would have been funnier if you could push 2 buttons at once and classify her request as a reckless hot take while the intro played. But I don't believe we can cross the stream.
That'll crash his computer.
Right.
Yeah.
Derek
Anyway.
Coleman asks, he wonders if Don Denkinger will be there at Toy Man. I don't think Don Denkinger is anywhere these days.
Mm.
He's,
Anyway,
not on this earthly plane anyway.
all right, let's get this back under control. We were talking about Batman the Animated Series.
No, we weren't.
Underdog?
No.
Heart of Clay is an underrated episode.
Hong
this
Kong
essay, I will.
food, perhaps.
No.
No. Okay.
None of those things. We were talking Toy Man. And again, that is May 5th from 9 to 2. Be there. And that's all we got for community calendar this week. As we say every week, and fewer of you do, be sure to send any community calendar entries that you've got to whatsonjoemind@gmail.com. Community calendar is for the community. We count on you guys to give us the information for that. If you don't want us to plug local shows, we won't. We can do away with community calendar. AbsorbVids will probably come to your house and beat you with a skateboard. But you know, we don't have to do community calendar if nobody has local shows for us to plug. So come on, send them on into whatsonjoemind@gmail.com.
Community calendar is a privilege, not a right.
That's right.
Do your job.
Hey, look, you're gonna make him cry. No,
Right?
He's been editing for so long.
Right.
He puts more work in into video editing per week than we do, and it's our show.
Mm-hmm. Stygian has a good point over there.
Dustin Jeffrey asks if Dom Deckinger made Angel Hernandez look competent. I would say that this is where we don't say things we can't take back. Stygian 360 asks, is this the guilt trip portion of the show? No, that's the entire show.
No, that's coming up later.
We'd ask you to give to our coffee, for us poor urchins are still struggling to get that second bowl of porridge.
That's right. 210 from Facebook doesn't go very far, to be honest with you.
So 285.
Oh,
it barely covers trusty brand imitation gruel.
But what's on joemind@gmail.com? That's where you want to send your entries for community calendar. And I don't really do a whole lot with mail on Tuesday, so try and get it to me like over the weekend or something, so I got time to actually get it on the show.
I don't do a whole lot with mails any day, but that's me.
You know,
Mike needs time to procrastinate. You got to build that into the schedule.
No, man, I got stuff to do too. I'm a person with a life and a job and hobbies.
Tease.
Like,
You know?
And 358 beachhead figures.
Right? I got keys and credit cards and friends and all kinds of stuff going on.
You're a real boy.
Right?
Sure.
I mean, Phil doesn't believe it because he has none of those things, but
He has a season pass to Disneyland, damn it.
It's the only time I see the sun.
How'd you get to WonderCon anyway?
he knew the way. It was right across the street from Disney.
7.
And why'd you take the 7?
It was jammed.
Yes!
Jammed.
It was jammed.
We'll take this breakdown as the opportunity to remind you that Community Calendar is brought to you by Roma Collectibles,
Paul
the
Roma.
official traveling vintage toy retailer of What's on Joe Mind. Our favorite vagabond hobo toy retailer. You can visit Roma the Collectibles during the week at Roma Collectibles, the toy store. That is in Springfield, Ohio. They are closed Monday and Tuesday because they are watching What's on Joe Mind. Open Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 7, Sunday, 12 to 5. So be sure to check them out. And just be careful. They, don't have any shiny objects. Don't want to attract too much attention. They will attack when provoked.
No sudden movements.
No, very, very keep it calm. You can see the fangs glistening on both of them there. It's just
Make sure your crosses are out and visible.
although the garlic may attract them. So
Right.
careful.
I always like to put on a little garlic at shows for the ladies. A little bit right here, a little bit right here, a little bit down here. Yeah.
Matt Rubin notes they did it. They finally broke Phil. Not sure if that deserves a well done or a damn it. Both.
Well
Both.
done, damn it.
Both. But it's time. It's time for our new AbsorbVids video. Remember, you can that is AbsorbVids at absorb_ on Instagram. He's the guy who does all of our intro stuff for for community calendar. That's the sick mind behind it all.
Mhm.
I'm just a fan. So Phil grimaces as I wash my hands of all guilt.
Oh boy.
Do not encourage the absorbers.
Absolutely not. It's free content that I don't have to make. Community calendar. Community calendar.
Wait a minute.
Community calendar. Community calendar.
Mark, what is your secret to those 6-pack abs?
But it's my only line.
That's not true. You're the voice of Cobra Commander in the
That's true. Clean
the
living, baby.
community calendar.
Clean living.
Hey Phil,
Yes.
Diana and Cullen, they're getting an Airbnb for San Diego. The dogs will be there. They want you to do dinner with them one night.
I am aware of this. I'm just, I get second building under the dogs, which, I mean, I get it. It's just, it hurts a little bit.
That's kind of where you belong, Phil. You're on our show, so you don't have social standing.
I mean, kudos to Diana for finding an Airbnb that'll take 2 giant bulldogs.
Right.
And to Phil.
And
a
to
Phil. Yeah, but Phil's house trained.
I'm getting that drooling thing under control any day now.
Right. Right. Anyways. Greg Augustin's in the house. He's got to miss the first hour tonight because of a work meeting, but there's Giants Dodgers in the second hour. Decisions. It's Giants Dodgers. The fans don't show up until the 4th inning. You don't have to either.
Right.
That's just because all the freeways are jammed.
I bet it's going to be a good game.
I mean, probably.
The first guy to come up with that.
Anyways, time for the news. Unfortunately, our first news item is not a fun one. We have to report the passing of Mark D. Bright. That happened on March 27th. Mark was the penciler for G.I. Joe in 1990-91. Most of the issues that were in the 90s and 100s. He was also DC's go-to Green Lantern guy for a number of years. And then went on to Milestone to co-create Icon and his sidekick Rocket, and then went to Valiant and co-created the amazing book Quantum and Woody. Cannot recommend that one enough if you get the chance to check that one out. He left comics to go be a storyboard artist for several TV series. He was 68. And just so everyone is aware, he did supply several iconic images that among others, I got a couple of them here in the slides here. We got, of course, Cobra Commander kicking a puppy. That's Mark Bright. And Snake Eyes without the mask for the first time is also Mark Bright. He was the penciler for G.I. Joe 100, where a lot of stuff went down. So our condolences to Mark's family and friends at this time. Racktime Rob, you're our comics guy.
Yes.
Talk a bit about Mark Bright's influence on comic books.
Well, I know he's the penciler for one of the more well-regarded Iron Man runs, which included the Armor Wars storyline.
That's true. He was there for Armor Wars.
Yep. I mean, he picked up. He had a long run on Green Lantern before the Emerald Twilight. He got to blow up Coast City, or at least deal with the aftermath of Hal Jordan blowing up Coast City.
Yeah, he was there long enough to do Rebirth. So
no, he didn't do Rebirth.
Comic Book Resources said he did.
Comic Book Resources is wrong. They don't hire people who research anymore.
Bastards.
You should have checked at Rob Irizarry Resources.
Yeah,
I mean, I do. I trust Rob. I just figured I'd throw
Rebirth
our
was
source
done
out.
by Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Skeever.
All right.
Yeah. He did the post-crisis origin Emerald Dawn miniseries.
Okay. All right.
So that's probably where they got confused, and but those guys haven't read a comic book past 2000, so they don't know anymore.
Fair enough.
And I don't think Coast City was Hal Jordan. It was Cyborg Superman. Hal Jordan just snapped seeing it.
Yes, that's what I said.
The
Mark
fallout.
Wright got to blow up. He got to deal with the blowing up of Coast City. But
Mark Bright also did most of the pencil work for the Impel trading card series of the 90s.
Yeah.
For G.I. Joe. So,
and one of the most iconic images in Transformers, that Shockwave Transformers Are All Dead picture, that was him too.
oh wow,
I didn't know that.
The cover to number 5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So again, don't know the specifics on it, but our condolences to his family and loved ones.
Larry had a really nice post about Larry Hama on Facebook and how much that Bright meant to him. So they were obviously close.
Yeah,
he's a good penciler. He was a good penciler.
But next up, still going on is the GoFundMe for Ron Friedman's health situation. From the campaign itself, why are Ron's friends running this fundraiser? Ron and Val, his wife of 51 years, need help. Ill health and mounting bills that follow mean the need to move urgently to a less expensive rental near the hospital on which they both rely for their care. Seeking funds, they'll go directly to Ron and Val to pay for their move and cover their rent, bills, and living expenses for a few months so that they can focus on their ongoing treatment and recovery. The $48,000 they're seeking breaks down into $28,000 for medical bills, and the balance would cover the cost of relocation, rent, and living expenses for a few months. They would be grateful if they consider helping. So there too, even if you just have $1 or $2 or $5, head over to GoFundMe. Just type in Ron Friedman's name. This will come up for you in the search. I forgot to add it to the links down below, but we will put it in the links down below. Again, just $1 or $2 or $3 every little bit helps. Because this is a guy who, if he's not attached to the first couple G.I. Joe miniseries, they probably don't get made. So we owe Ron quite a bit for us being here, for our enjoyment of our brand on television. But next news item.
I don't know if I can do it yet. Are we done with the serious ones?
Yeah, this you can do that. We're helping for Ron Friedman, so that's a positive thing.
I don't want to give a goofy lead in to something that's serious.
Oh, yeah.
But now let's get into the goofy. Oh, speaking of goofy,
right. Hiya Toys put out a couple of solicitations this week, I guess we can call it. They're up for pre-order. I got a janky slide there. I don't know what's up with that, but it matches the figures in some ways. Anyways, those pre-orders are live on Hiya Toys website and in wherever Hiya Toys are available. Let me get that banner up because we still have it there. You can always pause the video later and plug that website in. It'll tell you where you can buy Hiya Toys here in the U.S. MSRP is about $25 each, but being imports, expect to add a few dollars to that. Tomex and Zaymot are sold separately, and they're expected in stock in fall of this year. Each figure includes an extra set of hands, a display base. They each have a gun, they each have a knife, and they each have 2 janky shoulders.
Oh, so bad.
Yeah, they're not good. They
are bad.
They are. We've been good about giving the Hiya Toys figures their flowers, right? Some of them have really been done well.
Yep.
Beachhead sticks out. Major Blood sticks out in my head. Snake Eyes was good. Destro was good. These are not that good. These are really not that good.
And just sculpt and paint the shirt to the edge, and then it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, they really do. They take away from
Butterfly
what is
joints
otherwise
really translate. Huh?
Like I'm not a huge Crimson Twins guy, but they really take away from the aesthetic of what's going on here.
They're pretty good outside of that.
Yeah.
But it's so bad. Oh.
Yeah.
It hurts my heart.
They have big submachine guns, which is an improvement over those laser pistols they had back in 1985, which we then proceeded to see 100 times over the next 30 years. So points for that.
To quote MTV's Butthead, Oh no.
Yeah, those arms are pretty bad.
Oh, they're so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, Craig Cohan gives it a simple nope.
Yep.
No, it was a nope.
I've been in on all of these except Storm Shadow. Just I don't have them all yet. Gotta get Storm Shadow, maybe at Showfest. But these are like, it's like, do you really want to support this? These guys in particular, right? I'm not saying I'm done with Hiya Toys, but kind of got to vote with your wallet, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's not good.
So bad.
Matt Rubin,
do you think Gridiron Studios will make snap-on shoulder pieces to fix these poor guys?
I don't know. We have an in with Mark II Design. Maybe we can get them on it.
Maybe I'll buy 4 and snap off the shoulder epaulet and give the ones I want to keep double epaulets to cover up the dreadful shoulders.
Cheapest Big Spender has the question of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Which is worse, Mark, those shoulders or the deep chest cut?
It's a tie.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
they both suck.
You're giving us a push?
No. Look, these are more surprising because we haven't seen shoulders done this badly, maybe ever. But the brutal chest cut just keeps going on and on and on and on, right? So, yeah. So bad.
But again, they are sold separately, so you can see that those listings on the Hiya Toys website, and again wherever Hiya Toys are sold. I'll get that banner up one more time so you can check it out for yourself. HiyaToys.com/pages/where-to-buy.
Look how far that knife is sticking out on the guy on the left, right? I bet he's scratching up all the cabinetry around his house. And Mrs. Zamott's all mad.
Right. Or Mrs. Tomax? I can't tell.
I can never remember who's who.
Becky.
Yeah. Shut up, Becky.
Right.
You're scratching the cabinets again. Your brother doesn't scratch the cabinets.
I think there's a reason Larry didn't write this story.
Right.
Probably.
Those guns look like they're the wrong size too.
They look a little big, but they're still better than those laser pistols from 1985.
Yeah, I said it looks like they just took the guns out of the 6-inch ones.
Those are so bad. With the double, look like a two-handed sword handle, right? For a pistol.
Right.
A laser pistol with no kick. Come on.
Oh. As Firefly says, sold separately, but definitely not separating my money from my wallet. Well,
there you go.
Yeah, probably not. Craig Cohan notes that it's funny that on Big Bad Toy Store, Tomax is on sale, but Zaymot is not. Zaymot, they just put out the pictures for, I think it was earlier today, so they may just not have had the opportunity to put that listing up yet. Tomax was a couple days ago, so I mean, granted, the other one's coming, but you're not gonna do it till they send you images, so or make them available at any rate. Next news item. Oh man, if he's going to give us
one way or another, he's going to get us demonetized.
If he's going to give us a song every time, it might. I mean, Racktime Rob may get the job.
That was Sun Devil Inside. You got to give it up.
I'm aware. I'm just saying.
No one
told me a request for classical gas.
No one told me there were rules.
Hey, there was this thing called WonderCon last weekend.
What?
Phil, did you hear about this? Apparently, it happened in your neck of the woods.
Must have missed it.
And it was just across the street from Disneyland.
If you missed it, Phil, you can see the video from it on all sorts of channels.
Really?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Color me
everywhere. Everywhere. Not just the little ones too. Some big ones that have a reputation that people like and stuff. Not us though. We just spread the word and tried to get people to watch Phil's channel and subscribe to Phil's channel, Articulated Points. At Articulated Points here on YouTube. Anyways, I hate the whole thing. Anyways, going forward. There was a big hour-long panel that dealt with 5 properties.
6.
So I true. Yeah, there was. But if anybody expecting a huge amount of Joe stuff to be revealed in amongst 5 other properties in an hour-long panel, it may have been kidding themselves a little bit. So to sum up, there was some Star Wars stuff, there was some Transformers stuff, there was some Marvel Legends stuff. Legends probably got the most time because they actually did reveal some product. Transformers revealed a couple of pieces. So they did tend to take up the bulk of it. I would say go to, say, Articulated Points and watch the full panel if you want to know more about those particular things. But we do have a couple points of interest for us here in the G.I. Joe world. First up, Mark's favorite, Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Nobody's favorite.
I know a guy, Mark.
Yeah.
One guy's favorite.
I don't know if he's the exception that proves the rule.
One guy's
I don't know if
favorite.
he's the exception to the rule or the exception that proves the rule.
Mm-hmm.
But 1/18th O-Ring Ghostbusters are happening. And that is a 4-pack of figures. You can see all Egon, Winston, Ray, and Peter. Estimated retail price of $44 for the set. Can't go wrong with the price there. And then an Ecto 1 vehicle, which was all tricked out and had lots of cool features. Under $100 was the closest we could get to a price on that one from Emily on the panel.
I'm going to say between 60 and 75 is probably more likely because it's a retool of the Afterlife one they did. And that was around the cost for it.
Right. So, but they did add a few extra things in. So, but either way, under $100 for a fully tricked out Ecto 1. We've got some close-up images there. There's the figures again. Winston and Ray, Peter and Egon. And then there's the Ecto 1. Good stuff, man.
The beauty.
You're gonna sell me all 4 Ghostbusters in their movie gear from 1984 with the car, and I'm gonna spend like $120 for it. I am in. I'm totally in.
I've heard from Emily you can fit 2 figures in the front, but you can't fit 2 in the back just because it is based off that Afterlife body.
So, anyways, Phil, I'm guessing you went to the meet and greet after the panel.
I actually forgot about it.
Oh my God, Phil!
I was with friends.
Oh my God, Phil!
I was doing that socializing thing, which people think I don't do.
You don't have any. Come on now, Phil. You have friends, but we're all here.
They're all relying on me.
You not going means hundreds of channels didn't get to go.
They all had to rip it off from TNI then.
That's it.
All right, Surveillance Port says you can fit 2 in the back. Just be gentle.
Ooh.
Always with consent.
Use lube. But
Or slime.
Ectoplasm, sir. It was ectoplasm. Slime was Mattel's trademark.
Sean Russell with the important. Are they thick in the crotch, Phil? Are they thick in the crotch, bro?
Probably not. Sad.
I go back to the picture.
Probably so. They're probably not unthick in the crotch.
Is no
if you
problem.
ask Bankman versus asking, say, Egon, you might get different answers.
Is no problem, bro. You break crotch, you use Sergeant Slaughter crotch. White belt. It's all good.
That big elastic white belt. Yeah, there you go. There you go. But Racktime Rob, what do you think?
I was pleasantly surprised by these. These are kind of neat. I also think it's really funny. We got O-Ring Ghostbusters, but O-Ring Joe is far down.
Ding, 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 winner.
I went to Rob first, hoping that Mark would drop that bomb last. But Phil Donnelly, what do you think?
That also was a pleasant surprise for me. I'm excited about these. I want them. Yes.
Mark Weber, we know you hate Ghostbusters, so I won't ask you.
No. You're getting it dead wrong, and I beat this horse plenty of times. I don't hate Ghostbusters. I like Ghostbusters. Everybody likes Ghostbusters until they see the new movie. But look, Ghostbusters is only one guy's favorite property. That's my point. But there ain't nothing wrong with these figures. There's nothing wrong with that Ecto-1. There's nothing wrong with this as a concept. But you remember that Cobra Trooper with the AK-47 and the Cobra Officer with the Dragunov sniper rifle 2-pack that they gave us on the Pulse? Remember that?
Somebody
That was
can't let us forget it. Yeah.
Yeah. How much did that cost?
About $45, yeah.
About $45. Is there a royalty attached to that?
Oh, no, not at all.
So you're telling me you can get 4 Ghostbusters with new sculpting involved with a royalty attached for $44? But the G.I. Joe O-ring 2-pack cost $45 for 2 guys with no tooling and no royalty attached to it. And apparently, I'm just going to guess it didn't sell great or maybe as well as they wanted it to. And so Joe O-ring is dead based on that pricing. But Ghostbusters O-ring, they're going to give it a shot at pricing that's less than half if you consider what they're paying internally for tooling and licensing, right? Like, Joe fans were up in arms about this. And
Yeah.
I get that Super 7 is doing it, so maybe we should just be grateful that we're going to get O-ring from somewhere. But it really feels like we were taken for a ride on the O-ring that they did offer. That whole bit feels felt kind of disingenuous now, and it feels really disingenuous today.
Yeah, agreed. And that's, again, I want to make sure that we have a very distinct line being drawn, that we all love these Ghostbusters figures. These are fantastic. Buying them all. You want to give us the animated Ghostbusters too? Sure, we'll do that. You want to give us the modern old guy Ghostbusters? Sure, we'll do that too. Whatever. Keep rolling Ghostbusters out to us. If you're going to charge us for $45, go for it. But yeah, this makes the whole O-ring relaunch outside of the Sky Striker. It makes it all really, really stink, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Well, to be quite honest, I was starting to get a little teed off when they were selling you 2 figures for $44, but the Jeep with the figure was $35.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the Jeep is, I mean, it's every bit as good as the one that we got back in 1984. So it's not like they cheaped out and did it quick to turn a quick buck. They really, those 2-pack figures, the colors are wrong. There's no new tooling. When they said that the O-ring was relaunching for G.I. Joe back in the day, this is going, 3 years ago now. I was excited that there were going to be some new characters. And there were in the Sky Striker set. And that's it. That was all. That was all they tried. And so it really does feel like we got a little taken.
Diana and Michael Gene Fleming playing Sun Devil's advocate make good points over in the comments.
Let me go ahead and slow down so I can get them up. Diana notes. Oh, wait, sorry.
Yes, that's the right
Mark,
one.
100%. So Mark, maybe you'll get freed in one of the upcoming intro videos.
Oh, I'm gonna get more screen time. That's what I'm gonna.
Diana notes that maybe they saw the error of their ways. They're doing good moving forward. Michael Gene Fleming says, I may just be needlessly positive. Look, no, you're not. Positivity is never a bad thing. But I'm hoping this represents a realization of their past mistakes with the chance of doing things proper in the near to midterm future. So, I mean, I hope so too. I have to say that corporate behavior does not necessarily support that hypothesis based on our last, 225, 250 years of history.
Look,
and that's just recent history.
I'll roll with that concept. Let's say this leads to and does well, and that helps lead to Hasbro putting out some O-ring Joes and some new character O-ring Joes, and they're reasonably priced and they're a big hit, and we're all happy about that. But that would make them a rotten partner to Super 7,
Right.
who
Yeah.
they just okay their green lit O-rings to. So
Right.
even if this turns out the way we all hope it would, pie in the sky, it would make them bad partners from a corporate perspective. So either way you want to split this, it is it showcases poor business practices from Hasbro, either in the past or in the future. And that's just the truth of it. And that's that is with no malice towards these Ghostbuster figures or the Ecto-1 vehicle. Outstanding, well played, right. Love them. I think nobody's mad at them for what they are, except for their freakishly long thighs. But a little bit.
It doesn't look that out of sorts with any of the other O-ring figures we've seen.
A little long to me, but either way, it's either a shame on you for what they did to us with Joe, or if they're actually going to activate it, it's a shame on them for what they're about to do to Super 7.
Right. It's I hope because Super 7 is a company that has certainly increased its presence in recent years, but they're not a big company. They don't do huge sales numbers. They really are a niche product kind of thing, and this is their G.I. Joe license for 3 3/4 O-ring figures is really their first step into something that might be considered mainstream. So I hope they're not going to get screwed up. I doubt that Hasbro has the ability to do O-ring Joes. I'll bet they've signed that away for a couple of years as part of that contract.
Mm-hmm.
But to that end, I hope that the figures that are being pushed out by Super 7 in turn work with Hasbro 3 3/4 Joes from the past. I hope they have a similar kind of aesthetic. I hope I hope that they get helped along in the process of making these figures, and I hope Hasbro's a good partner to them there, because man, like you said, Mark, it just feels like there was a whole ton of cash getting pulled in that seemed like, I get it. Most like if you took any 4 figures today and you just did 4 different guys, it's not going to be $11 a figure, right? It's going to cost more because they're not going to share as much tooling as these 4 Ghostbusters do, and that figures into a lot of it. I mean, tooling cost is a ton of this stuff, but at the same time, I really doubt recasting stuff that was molded 40 years ago adds up to $25 per figure too. So there's got to be a happy medium in there.
I'd like to point out I did manage to get the pre-orders for the Super 7 O-rings that were briefly up on Big Bad Toy Store before they got them pulled, and they're at $19.99 a figure.
Yeah. The MSRP is $20, so that's already better.
But it's still not 11.
Right. As a licensed figure, though, the fact that they're still bringing it in less than Hasbro did says something about the pricing of those 2-packs that Hasbro pushed out.
And they're only $2 more than their 5 points of articulation.
Right. And that Super 7 line was what? Bongo the Balloon Bear and Cool Breeze and Mangler and Dr. Venom.
CoverGirl Blonde, Snake Eyes Comet, Comic Blue Bat, and Cartoon Cobra Commander so far. Which but those are just the ones they put up.
I thought Giant Dude from the first miniseries was in there.
Yeah, he was supposed to be, but he didn't get listed along with those guys. So
some people are really hype about that guy. I don't know that I need that guy. Just
look, I don't either, but I like his inclusion from just the standpoint of somebody different.
New characters, totally down with that, but he would have been about 105 on my list of the new characters.
Right. I'm just saying, would I have bought one? Yes, I would have bought one.
What was his name? Ukla?
Ramar.
Ramar.
First name James.
Right.
And he was 46 feet tall.
That's so cool.
And could fit a Duke in one hand.
But he wouldn't have been large, right? He would have probably been 3 3/4 inches tall, right?
I hope he would have been a little taller, but yeah, he'd
either
have
way.
been close.
Yeah.
He'd have been close. He'd have been close. But I mean, everything Super 7 has said to this point publicly has said they're going to try and stick to that price point as best they can.
Check out Sir Nightheart in the comments, because this is my favorite comment from whoever puts it up anytime on any forum about anything. I hope to God somebody makes Honolulu eventually so it can not sell and we can put this to bed.
I always tell people, if you want a Honolulu, track down the Wrangler line by Ertl, and the figure Missy is 90% Honolulu.
There you go.
There you go.
The only difference is she has long sleeves versus the rolled up ones of Honolulu.
Oh, well, the hell with it then.
Right. Oh,
that's bullshit, Phil. What are you doing?
Come on now. It's like Grandma Weber always said. Skin to win, baby. Let's go.
Oh my God. That's pretty obscure, Phil. Deep pull.
Hey,
Deep
if
pull.
you want a Honolulu, she's out there.
Are there paints involved or
no? The colors match. She comes with the vest, everything. She doesn't have the swivel arm battle grip, but it's a straight arm.
I'm holding out for Tiger Force Honolulu.
Look, if Honolulu West cannot man the whirlwind, what good is she?
She's supposed to man Optimus Prime.
I'll tell you what, if Honolulu breaks her thumb, she's driving the Ram.
That's fair.
That's how it goes.
That's fair. Anyways, so yeah, there's going to be a lot more debate and discussion on these going forward. But speaking solely as a Ghostbusters property, I'm a heck of a lot more excited about these than I am about Fright Features redos from Kenner that were lame the first time.
Yeah,
I don't need them to be doing those a second time. Pointless. Anyways, moving forward. Also, we had some information on what's coming from Classified, in the sense that Retro Collection Beachhead, Eel, and Snow Serpent pre-orders will open on April 4th. That is Thursday. The Cobra Ferret pre-orders also open April 4th. That is still Thursday. There was a quick name-only reveal at the end of Poison Cobra Commander. That's right, the Was-A-Man guy from the movie. He's half snake. He's half fella. He needs Roadblock. And yeah, I don't know if that was real high on my list of Classified guys to get. That was a little bit of a bummer. But I'll grab one if they put it out. It's weird enough that, okay.
Makes me think they're really going to be leaning into Cobra Law for the Classified stuff.
Look, they're probably running out of named Cobras at this point.
No, it's a good idea because, I mean, half the community loves Cobra Law. So if you really want to appeal to half of the adult collectors out there, that's absolutely where I would go. Rather than make brand new characters.
Right.
How many people are going to be wanting to buy them now, though, with the Cobra Commander comic book?
I would lean heavily into the most polarizing portion of the history. Absolutely, dive into that.
It seems like that's what it seems like the direction that things are going to go.
Right. Right. Look, there is a new generation of folks being introduced with these comics. So if you're going to get that much synergy with the toys, okay. I really want to see some animation, but I think that's a good way to really explode this brand, and they have no interest in doing it. It really annoys me.
Is it possible we could get, if we make enough stink as a community, is there a way we could get Beachhead's gun more green before it comes out?
I don't think so. I was kind of hoping for less green.
No.
And it didn't work out that way.
We want Flak Viper green, baby. We want to go through the roof.
As that green as the last one was.
That gun is not green enough.
Yeah.
Sci-fi green. That's what I want, baby.
We're going to go the other direction just to annoy Mike and make it weapons pack gray.
It's going to look like Hal Jordan made it with his power ring.
I would take weapons pack gray. That's dark gray. It's absolutely usable.
Yeah.
With the cream colored.
But all three of these figures, I dig the carded project, the carded aesthetic that they're going for here. But I'll be honest, this as a group, this is a disappointing group, and this is coming from a guy who loves Beachhead.
Yeah.
None
of them are very different at all.
Yeah, the eel looks to be exactly the same as the previous release. The Snow Serpent is a scaled down version of the previous release in regards to the loadout, and it's not accurate to what the retro loadout was, which ordinarily I'm not a real slave to for classified. But if you're going to do a retro classified line, which is why that classified eel with the same backpack as the regular eel is kind of annoying. It's why the bad weaponry with the Snow Serpent is kind of annoying. It's why Beachhead's green gun is really annoying. Come on now.
What's different about Beachhead?
The tooling's different.
I think it is a different figure underneath. I can't say I've studied it too hard.
Okay.
But the gun is green. The ammo pack is Snake Eyes explosives pack. So even that's not right. So again, it's a retro line. If you're going to do retro, do retro.
Well, and they don't seem to be pinched by item count in a way that other people have been.
Right.
So you should be able to do a little bit of tooling.
But yeah, it's just this is not a real. I don't have a lot of hype for this set. I'm gonna get a Beachhead to keep on the card just for conversation. I'm gonna get a Beachhead to have open, and that's gonna be it. I don't need any more eels. I don't need any Snow Serpents. I'm good.
I might get one Snow Serpent. But maybe the Beachhead, but I don't need that eel. I just got 2 eels. Took me a while.
Right. Yeah, you can get a third one to round out your.
No, I had one from you.
All right,
I got 2
more.
more.
That one.
No, I got 2 more reasonably priced off Amazon.
Right. Okay, but I misunderstood your count. I thought you had the one from us, and then you got one more, which gave you a total of 2. But
I don't count any higher than 3, man. That's as high as I go. I don't have 144 of anything.
I don't have 144 anything either, because that would be gross.
Just saying.
I'm just saying that maybe that number is higher than 144.
Right. You don't have any more
amateur numbers.
Yeah,
I don't have 144 anything, because that would be gross.
Right.
But
you don't have any more, but you don't have any less either.
But where's my rim shot button? There it is. There we go.
You'll be here all week, folks.
Right?
Try the deal.
But
or try the eel. Either way.
There's a better look at those figures. Again, you can see I kept the card accurate or the art accurate poses so that you could see the things that we were inevitably going to complain about. But there's the eel backpack, which is, it's not right. It's a backpack. Does it cost that much to retool a new backpack? That's really all you had to change. Again, I don't dislike the new backpack, but if you're going to do a retro eel,
don't they have an AK-47-ish gun from the Cobra officer, or did he not come with it?
Yeah, they do.
So
they have one. The one that came with Sarge is pretty close too. So
could have given that
one that came from the officer.
Could have given that to the Snow Serpent with no tooling, right?
Yeah. And
made it retro accurate.
Or yeah.
Just saying, man.
Yeah, it's just I would even give a pass on the snowshoes.
That's fine.
But the backpack doesn't have the missile launcher thing. Where's the missile launcher thing?
For God's sake, if they don't make the missile launcher, how is anybody going to sell the bipod to it in 50 years for $8,000? You got to think about these things.
I got 4 of those, and my kid's going to college.
Right.
And then, Beachhead's green gun, which I could sit here and just spit venom for an hour, but I won't.
Look how small it is, too, right?
It's a submachine gun, whatever.
It's tiny.
It
looks like one of those salt blasting, kill bugs in your house guns.
That's cool, though.
Well, yeah, but
Now that
not if
Pump
you're
action.
Beachhead. Come on.
now that it's springtime, I could use one of those.
Mm-hmm. They call that an assault shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
The marketing folks are all over that one.
Well, I know those marketing guys. Got to watch them. Girls too.
The comments.
It's not small.
Surveillance port says it's not small. It's just cold. See,
Fair
there
enough.
you go.
That's why Beachhead's
It was in a
There was shrinkage.
Torpedo Mike says that this eel and snow serpent could be your 3-pack officers because no officer carries more gear than the grunt. I mean, the eel couldn't because he looks exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the snow serpent, I don't know. That's not a weapon I like. So
A lot of handles.
yeah,
it is a different weapon. It's Dusty's weapon.
A lot of handles on that gun. Makes me wish I had more hands. So I could
don't-
give that gun 4 thumbs down.
I don't think that's Dusty's gun, Rob.
I think in the initial pictures it was.
It does look like a FAMAS. Yeah.
No, that looks like Dusty's gun.
It's got another handle on it than Dusty's gun doesn't have that second.
The 4
Yes,
grip.
it does.
That's a bipod. The other one has. Yeah.
Does he have it? Hold on.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. I get there too. I haven't looked at it that closely because I'm just that disappointed with it on the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's Dusty's gun. And
Either
I
way-
think it's backpack too, probably.
Either way, it sucks.
Andrew Gauguin agrees with you, so that's good enough for me.
He doesn't agree with anybody.
No, that guy, he's
What a
He's
contrarian,
persnickety.
right?
as we run smack about the guy we've never met in person.
Right. No, but I heard he was lovely.
From what I understand, he's fine,
Big
except for
fan.
that, except for not agreeing with anybody about stuff.
Big fan.
Somebody said he was disagreeable.
He's typing in caps though. That's mean on the internet. So is Michael Gene Fleming though.
No, he's not. No, he's
All
not.
right.
He just
All right,
typed
let's
it
move
all
on to the
caps.
thing that everybody liked.
Oh,
And then, of course, the one thing that's just not disappointing at all, it's the Cobra Ferret.
Hmm.
I'm digging the Cobra Ferret with the Ferret Scout. Awesome.
Do you think they could repaint it into more of like a tiger scheme?
I think I could punch you in the face, Phil.
Hey,
Phil's,
look,
just,
he had to sit and listen to that in person.
Phil's just being clairvoyant here.
Right. I mean, it's one thing that he said that he asked that question once. It was something else that they just didn't take the microphone away from him after that.
Doubling and tripling down on it. Yeah.
Right. Just move along, dude. The joke is dead. It did not get the big ovation the first time around. Move on. Just know when to let the joke die. It was more clever than funny. Move on.
Mhm.
Anyhow, Cobra Ferret.
Yeah.
Mark Webber, what do you think?
I love that it's a new character-ish. The ferret itself looks great. This is not their fault. I always hated the push me, pull you missiles on this thing.
Right.
Right? Like, which way are they going to fire? And for God's sake, don't get that wrong.
They just explode in the middle and take out the legs.
Yeah,
The LMX cat dogs.
right. I really do like that the cannon elevates and pivots. It looks like
Yeah.
because the old one did not. You just had to aim your ferret where you wanted to shoot.
No, I think it comes off. I think she can man that heavy machine gun separate.
It looks like it might be a ball joint. Yeah.
Yeah, because she looks like she's big enough to carry that kind of weapon around and fire it. So sure.
I didn't use that photo in the slide here, but they did send a number of shots, and it there's one where she's just holding that thing on its own.
I liked it with the Ram because it was kind of cute, and because Breaker came with nothing else to fight with.
Right.
But I didn't like it with the Vamp. I thought it made the gun on top look cheap, and I think it might age poorly as a toy. I don't need weapons to pop off of my vehicles so my characters can hold them. I don't need that any more than I need my sound attack weapons to fit into my vehicles, right?
Sure, you do.
I'm not feeling that. And
how else do you explain the machine gun sounds?
It is the first Cobra since Tombstone to have some unnecessary white in the outfit. So I'm not feeling the white, but that's a small nitpick. I like this a lot.
Ragtime Rob, what do you think?
Yeah, the ferret's pretty cool. I'm down for one.
The missile continues to engage our live crowd. How does
Yeah,
the missile fire?
they need to explain the
It has
cat
no
dog
thrust.
missile there. It really does.
On the other side, you don't see it, but on the other side is one that has two exhausts.
Right.
Each other.
But Phil Donnelly, what do you think?
I like the motocross helmet on the Scout. I think that's a fun feature and like a design element we have never really seen on G.I. Joe before. So that's
Right.
That's always fun to see something new in there. And yeah, I do like that the gun can actually move now.
Yeah.
Wasn't it also that gun was stationary in the old one, and then the little gun in front turned with the steering wheel, so you really never could aim at what you were going for.
Yeah.
Right. Torpedo Mike has the answer. I missed it. A lot of you guys in the chat, your Chuckles just throws the damn missile.
There you go.
I thought he did that with the Snow Serpent missile once you lost the bipod.
That's a
He had a quiver of them.
Cujo pointing out the ulterior motives. Achievement unlocked. Tombstone mention.
There you go. I hope they make him. Oh, make him and make him right. I figured out the missile though. The missile is just the self-destruct mechanism. When you're just careening out of control or so badly wounded, just aim your ferret into the heart of the enemy troops. Get in real close and fire that missile.
Right.
They don't want the Joes to get their advanced 4-wheel technology.
I'm not ripping on the current classified team or this design at all. That thing never made sense.
No.
It's so people can't do like the Ben-Hur chariot race thing.
I guess, right? It's like the spiky tires you see on 18-wheelers or the rims.
Yeah.
Like I was going to get that close to an 18-wheeler, but whatever, dude.
Yeah. Some commentary in the live chat noting on the tires. And I thought this too. They are street tires. Designers probably Googled 4-wheeler, got a lot of images, awesome kids doing wheelies as part of urban rider groups. And yeah, probably.
Because the ferret's going to be tearing down the 405?
I mean, it
Nothing
might.
tears down the 405. It's jammed.
It's jammed.
They're tearing down the LA River.
They're going to be on the shoulder making noise on the rumble strips.
I guess.
We don't seem to have rumble strips.
Rumble strips and Frenzy is so disappointed.
I tell you,
Are the rumble strips blue or are they red?
Both.
Okay.
Rumble's red. Just saying.
Then why did they call that one Blue Rumble?
Toy came first. Toy said red. Toy said that the red guy
fur
was
rib
Rumble.
or fibrer?
I mean, sure, in toy continuity, Rumble's red, but in cartoon continuity, Rumble's blue.
Toy came first.
Doesn't matter.
There's an entire article on the TF Wiki about this. That's this long. You're not going to solve it tonight.
It's a separate thing.
Rumble's red.
If the comics and the cartoon can be different continuities, then the cartoon and the toy can be different continuities.
I don't play this card.
I don't think the toys line up. The comics
I don't
either.
play this card very often. Oh, Phil, well, I'm coming next. I don't play this card very often, but let's ask the guy who ran the Transformers brand for a little while.
I'm just saying. I might just be picking a fight. You never know.
What a shot.
we could just be dealing with a guy who's been picking fights on podcasts for 13 years. I don't know. It could be that.
Truck not monkey.
Monkey. Anyways. Again, those pre-orders open on April 4th. Classified retro collection, those are $25 a piece, give or take, depending on where you order them from. The Ferret is $54.99 on Hasbro Pulse. The press release did not say anything about being a Pulse exclusive, so I have a feeling that the Ferret's going to be, available Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, whatever internet specialty shop you shop with is probably going to have the Ferret. And that is, again, about $55, give or take, depending on where you get it from. So April 4th, I don't know what time. I'm sure they'll let us know.
The Iron Man stuff seemed to hit at the regular 1, 2 o'clock. So I'm betting probably around.
Good guess, but we'll find out.
No step on the back fender there, just so you know.
Because people got to know, man.
I hated that sticker. I don't know if I ever put a no step on any one of my toys.
And that's why all your Cobras had a limp.
Right?
Stepping in all the wrong places.
I love it when I got my Sky Striker. There were 8 billion no step stickers.
So many.
I'm like, America's premier fighting force doesn't know not to walk down the wings.
You just peel them off with one hand and throw it on, and then wherever it lands.
Right? I mean, there were no foot pegs there, so even as kids, we kind of understood.
Oh, plus the fact that there was a jet,
Look, man, if they put foot pegs on the wing, I'm putting somebody on that foot peg.
Right.
I promise you.
When Gung Ho's chest tattoo wore off, I put a no step sticker right there just to make sure nobody was stepping.
He's not a sub.
No.
That's is that first on your tattoo list, Mark? You can get one of those?
No step. It's not a bad idea.
The little tramp stamp on the back.
Right on the back. Yep. No, I'm thinking about getting my own logo tattooed on my neck. It's a good idea.
You don't ever need to get a job. You'll be fine.
Yeah, hey, man. I just want to be the most popular baby face in the industry.
Look, man, you might not like him, but you can't. I mean, you're making an argument that he probably is, man.
He is. I'm not arguing with him.
Probably is.
Can't wait till he turns heel.
It'll be fantastic. It's not going to be for a couple of years, I don't think.
No, it won't be for a couple of years, and it shouldn't be. But raging narcissist Cody Rhodes will be phenomenal because, spoiler alert, that's who he is. Yeah.
Who said that?
You listen to too much Cornette, old man. That's
no,
all I'm saying.
Cornette doesn't say that. I say that.
Your residual AEW hate has not worn off yet.
You know who listens to Cornette? CM Punk.
He listens to everybody and he keeps receipts because he's a little crazy.
He is a little bit. He is, and I like both these guys, but he is very into bitter old Bret Hart territory.
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of where he is in his career. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Although it turns out Bret Hart was right about Goldberg not being all that great in terms of being
Bret.
wrestling.
Bret's one of my top 5s.
Oh yeah, I mean as a performer, absolutely. Maybe the best ever.
In general, one of my all-time favorites. And he's got plenty to be bitter about. But moving on. Anyway, now back to the real Ghostbusters with the gorilla.
With the gorilla. I think he's in wave 2.
Yes, I'm gonna get the gorilla.
I think we got a 4-pack with 4
O-ring gorillas.
Can't wait.
4 O-ring gorillas to can make them for $11 a piece.
Oh right? God, I hope and then I can hardly wait for the Forrest Tucker Larry Storch 2-pack.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
They're Chase variant F Troop uniforms.
They'll have different hats, so you can have Gorilla Ghostbuster Force. Anyways, got some Skybound bits. I'm sorry. Next news item. Just to remind you, some Skybound bits. We got no Joe titles coming up this week, but Void Rivals 8 is tomorrow. So if you're keeping track of the non-toy based entry in the Energon universe, it's there for you tomorrow.
It's a good book.
And remember, no Real American Hero in April. They do have the issue in May 306 with guest penciler Paul Pelletier. So don't freak out. No Real American Hero next month.
But still Duke and Cobra Commander. Right?
Yeah, that'll be at the end of the month. We gotta tidy them up, man. Got to get them done so that Destro and Scarlet can start in June. Makes it sound like Destro and Scarlet are an item, but they're not.
It's a fake relationship to make Snake Eyes and Baroness jealous.
Right. Exactly.
That'll learn them.
Or it will drive them together. Anyways. Next news item.
Dude.
Settle down now.
It's just had to mute that out before he.
Thank God that's in public domain.
Before he pegged the microphone, we had to redline it. Let me unmute you there, Mark.
That one hurt real bad. I'm not doing that again.
Right?
I apologize.
Right? You're not sorry. You'll do it again.
Also, Sprack Zarathustra. Just saying.
Hey, look, it's Chunky Tech Kitty. That means we're at the end of the news. Remember, you can tune into the G.I. Joe 3D printing podcast for all your Chunky Tech Kitty and Meowler Tank news. We are working with those guys for some fun projects coming up for Joe Fest. So there actually is. If you won't hear it from them, you'll hear it from us in the very near future.
Have we found his damn microphone yet?
Who's that?
Chunky Tech Kitty.
Does Chunky Tech Kitty have a microphone?
No, we lost it. And it cost like $400 on eBay.
I think you're getting it confused there, Mark. I think you're getting it confused.
He's not even wearing a hat.
No, I just had a head rush. So
right.
I'm seeing a couple different colors right now.
His whole room is just filled with cats in cardboard tanks.
My God, it's full of stars.
Right?
Spinning around. But that's it for the news. And let's take a moment here. We'll get to touch base with our wonderful friends and sponsors at Kokomo Toys.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
That's right, Kokomo Toys. But Matt Rubin says, why do you think Chunky Tech Kitty has that look on his face? Either can't find his microphone or accidentally sat on it. I think he's just attentive. I don't think.
I thought he was just a cat.
Right. He's just kind of a cat.
That shows what you know, Rob.
Right.
He doesn't have thumbs, but he's supposed to have fully expressive facial features. I
don't know. Cats are usually pretty reasonable and tolerant, as I recall.
Famously so.
I mean, that's because Mark is under threatening.
Yeah, Mark, blink twice if you need a dog to show up.
No, I was trying to summon Dr. Socks.
Oh,
did blink twice.
I figured that was a layup.
No. I thought it was a cry for help because you were being held hostage by
what it was.
By
it was a reckless hot take.
It's not a reckless hot take at all.
Ready?
No,
come on.
No. Besides, I'm getting set up for a different button here.
Okay.
For our friends at Bandcamp. That's right. We're excited.
Wear that.
We're excited to feature the folks at Bandcamp. Perfect for anyone that hates censorship. It is called Bandcamp, and the duo of Dan and Jennifer host it. It is a comedy podcast where they read banned books and try to figure out why they were banned in the first place. They are done with the adventures of Huckleberry Finn and into A Wrinkle in Time. So good time to jump on the Bandcamp wagon right now. The first 2 chapters of A Wrinkle in Time have just dropped very recently.
That's pretty good.
If they are reading that book 1 chapter at a time out loud and trying to process it as it goes. If you think banning books will lead to a not so great future, and it will, then Bandcamp is for you. Whether you're like Jennifer, curious to read the book for the first time, or like Dan, and a little too lazy to read it yourself. That is, you like your reading without all that reading. You'll love Bandcamp. Look for Bandcamp, that's banned with 2 N's, on your favorite podcast player, and subscribe today. Let's all get banned again.
It looks like a yarmulke. A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. It would kind of worked.
And I mean that with all respect to my mishpuka out there.
Right. Or maybe it was like just a very short kind of woolen cap.
Or a raspberry beret, perhaps.
Well, I mean, except for the
Can't you buy at a
part.
secondhand store?
I don't have any raspberry hats. Look. Maybe I'll get a raspberry Yankees hat with a pink NY.
Classy.
Yeah, the classic style.
Surveillance Port notes that Dr. Socks is the best bad guy cat name ever. He is Dr. Soxo, the rock and roll cat.
He does catnip.
Right? I'll put it up on the screen for everybody.
Meow. 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 Meow.
I feel bad. We went to see the folks this weekend. We went to see my dad and stepmom for Easter, and the cat never made an appearance.
What?
We were up there for like 4
Traumatized
hours. Well, no, it was actually more because my younger brother was there. Jimmy was there with his wife, and they brought their dogs.
No.
So
So the doctor
Those
was
dogs
out.
are nuts.
right, the two insane corgis were free and roaming, and Dr. Soxo was more than happy to be closed up in the bedroom upstairs.
No one ever brings their cats to events, you know? You know why? Because a cat can be left home alone without losing its mind and ruining your house.
Right,
Dogs.
right.
I don't know that these dogs would ruin the house, but I think they would change the locks.
Right.
Oh.
Or they'd set traps. It would be like Home Alone.
They're a crime duo, huh?
Yeah, they are
I mean, I think they're smarter than they look. They'd have to be. But
I mean, it's a low bar.
you have no idea.
Dustin Jeffrey needed Dr. Soxo to complete his What's on Joe Mind bingo card for the night. Congratulations to all our winners.
Mm-hmm.
Phil will be in contact with you after the show to send out your prizes.
Remember those old Marvel no prizes?
Hey,
Oh no, Phil will supply something. Probably something off his back shelf there.
it's a
Did you-
notepad from the local insurance agent.
Right.
X-Ray Bandicoot says, "What's on Joe Mind now with 100% more Yiddish?" I don't know about 100% more. Remember, Rob and I are from Long Island, so we know a little. We got some Yiddishisms just in our daily life there.
Under you're just keeping it under your tuckus for now.
Yeah.
Right.
Focus.
Rob, did you ever mail in trying to get a no prize?
No.
No. Oh, you were a DC guy mainly, right?
I mean,
I read a lot of Marvel too.
Did you?
I was just like, oh, is that a comic book? Gimme, So
unless it was a third party superhero comic, then at which point he would just put it back.
yeah, it's just
Penthouse Comics. Icky.
Andrew Gaugan asks, will Dr. Soxo get a miniature version like Chunky Tank Kitty in the near future?
That's the Chase variant.
Right?
We don't make Chunky Tank Kitty, so it's tough for us to say. I don't want to be making promises that my checks don't
Associates.
cash. I don't know. I'm losing my strain here.
He won't be big time until some company in China is offering a Tonky Chank kitty. Right? Then we'll know he's totally arrived.
It'll be Chunky Jeep Kitty, and it'll still be a tank, but they'll call it Jeep on the package.
There you go.
Large fortified tracked vehicle cat.
Right. They'll just call it Superman.
Oh Lord, I'm still thrown out from the Sting
Skydiver.
call before.
Yeah, we can't have you do Sting and me
Oh.
do Flair's music as a dude in the same show because that we're running about 50% power.
Right, we're old, Mark. What happened to us?
I think I threw out my back duding.
That sounds dirty, Mark. I don't know what to
No.
tell you.
On
That's
camera
not-
for the
not
world
now.
to see.
Not
well,
that,
no more monetization for us.
Right.
We'll have to get Mrs. Weber to tell us how that went.
right? I
But,
I believe my Flair dude was longer than 6 seconds. It's a good thing you muted me.
It's time for what we got in. Phil, you're our guest, man. What'd you get in?
All right. Well, my poor wallet suffered a beating because I got in like the latest wave of classified figures, and I still haven't removed.
Let me get you in the big window here, Phil. Hang on.
He got his Duke.
I got a Duke.
He's been
with a visor that's going to come off as soon as I can get it out of here.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Airborne, quick kick, Techno Viper, Big Boa, Recondo, all that stuff. But I also got in the March 1987 issue of Comic Bum Bum from Japan.
Bum
Bum, which is of little merit on here normally, except that there is a little article about G.I. Joe in here, which, you know, we're obsessive about such things. It's talking about the toys and the cartoon, and this is literally all of it. But somebody's got to document this somewhere, so, you know.
Right?
That's me.
Phil, why don't you read some of that ad to us? Tell us what it says. Quack says hello. Hello, Quack. That's a new name. Welcome to the show.
No. I got a cyclone in the mail.
Boo.
Because it was a figure I had as a kid. But you know,
on a scale of 1 to 10, how furry are his shorts?
None. 0.
He's got the wedgie.
That's right. He was the non-furry shorts guy.
He's a knockoff.
Yeah.
And because I did go to WonderCon and Lenore Zahn was there, and I have something of a Rogue collection, she signed my Rogue animation cell. So
cool.
Hey,
all right.
Rogue signing on Rogue.
So
for the record, I bought the animation cell cut down like this. I don't know what idiot did that, but you know, I got a deal on it because it was.
That was she was the voice of Rogue in the cartoon.
Yes, and she still is, even in X-Men '97.
All right. I'm watching the old cartoons for the first time now.
Pretty good deal, Sugar.
She was nervouser than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs.
There you go. Hey, and if you're wondering how much Phil paid for that Cyclone figure, the answer is too much.
They're just jealous.
Oh no, we're not.
I wouldn't say that. That's not right at all. That's Ragtime Rob.
I got a Superpowers Red Tornado. No, wait, no, I didn't. Although I do have Amigo Red Tornado coming. Well, let's see. I showed off what I got in Joe-wise last week, except for this guy showed up on Wednesday.
Look at that. Joe Colton's so mad right now.
I know.
He sits on a cot in the back of the room.
She doesn't watch this show. Come on.
Those new cards can stop a bullet.
They overcorrected.
They are sturdy.
And because I'm weak.
That's the big Batman book.
Yeah, this I still have my copy from when I was a kid. It's still perfectly readable. But yet I went ahead and bought this stupid thing anyway. Why? Because like I said, I'm weak, and this might be maybe the greatest Batman story ever. But anyway.
Is it an 80-page giant?
Wait, isn't this the one where Batman fights constipation?
Yes.
No.
Rob, I don't think they understand what's up with that book. Why don't you hold a regular sized book up against it?
Like Rob has comic books handy. Come on.
Come on now. The fact that I live in this apartment with Rob means I have comic books handy.
Like a Treasury edition size?
So yeah, it's one of them big uns from the 70s.
They used to do comics this size basically in the 70s that would be collections of reprints or whatever. Basically kind of an early trade paperback. But yeah, this is Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil and one chapter by Irv Novick of basically kind of like the first big encounter between Batman and Ra's al Ghul.
That is senses shattering.
To be quite honest, it really is. It's awesome. It's like a Batman Bond movie. It's cool.
Is it black and white? Can you color it in?
Someone beat him to the punch.
Ooh, look at that.
Right.
All right. I always like that ass Al Ghul guy. He's going to be something.
I believe it's Rafe, like the guy that hung around with Johnny Quest.
Who?
Race Bannon.
I only remember Aji.
Well, yeah, but Haji was there helping out.
Grace
with
was the
Bandit.
concerning adult who was always hanging around children,
He threw a barrel.
taking them across the country and the world with limited adult supervision.
With Gadzook, right? I always hated Gadzook.
You're thinking of the Great Gazoo, and he hung around with the Flintstones.
No.
Anyways,
Gadzook was
Mark
like
Webber,
Godzilla. He sucked.
That was
That's
Godzuki.
Godzuki?
Gadzook, yeah, he sucked too.
Yeah, but what'd you get in, Mark?
Nothing. It was a dry week at the Weber house. And I didn't get anything in. Hey.
Oh,
There we go. Finally, I mean, you deserved a minute in the big window, if nothing else.
I got a Weber State jersey on the wall. It's a little
Oh, there you
folded
go.
up, but pretty slick.
There you go. What is that? It back there right now?
Yeah.
Is that a baseball jersey?
Weber State baseball jersey.
So
I have a small collection of Weber and unfortunately Weber sports jerseys.
look, he spells it right. You can't be mad at them. They spell it right.
Right? Hey, wait, hang on. Literally, give me 3 seconds here.
There's lots of people that have never heard of Weber State.
Liar.
So I'm sure Weber State is something he can pull off.
Sleeveless, in fact.
For the is it the right size? Is it something that you can wear? He doesn't have his earbuds in. I want to bother.
That's Arizona Diamondback Neil Weber. I'm pretty sure it's from the 1998 season because he only pitched in 4 frigging games in his life, and I have his jersey.
It's sleeveless like Wild Thing.
Right?
My guess is Neil Weber has his jersey too.
Take that, Neil Weber.
I'm just saying, if Neil Weber comes looking for you, I mean, he'll have to get in line behind. Oh shoot, I forgot his name.
Tim Roberts.
Neil. I mean, he'll have to get in line, and get the scraps that Tim Roberts leaves behind.
Right.
But he'll be there.
I will say this about Neil Weber: he pitched in 4 more major league games than I did.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Does he have do you know his lifetime record and earn run average?
I know he got an 11.57 ERA. Before now, think about this. Before the 1998 Diamondbacks said, "Yeah, you can't hang on this squad, son."
It's fair enough.
Mm.
And remember, they were an expansion team that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you know what? That's fair. Expansion teams typically do not have 11.57 team ERAs, so it's safe to say that Neil Weber was not making snuff.
Yeah, no, it was a short ride for Neil Weber. And when this thing showed up on eBay, the guy wanted, I don't know, a little more than $100 for it. I'm like, come on, dude, it's Neil Weber. He pitched in 4 games. And he bounced back to me and he said, I know it's rare. I'm like, you can't argue with that logic.
He got you.
Fine.
He's got the supply, you've got the demand. Who breaks first?
Here's your money. Right now, there's a game-worn University of Alabama basketball jersey with Weber across the back. It's gorgeous. What do I care about Alabama basketball, though, right? Like, come on.
What have they ever done?
I'm just saying. I don't need it, but I kind of want it.
Roll Tide.
Mm.
Anyhow, we do have a little mini segment inside what we got in. There he is, number 148. Told you I don't have 147, Mark.
With his gray gun as God intended.
It's gray. It's even the right color gray, and I just dropped his ammo bag here, but his ammo bag has been repaired. But past that, this guy is minty fresh. He is like, his joints are like right out of the package tight. So he has not been around a whole lot of young children in his day. So we dig number 148. I wish I had a better ammo bag for him. He is he could be single display card worthy is what I'm saying.
Give him one of those marzipan ammo packs.
That's right. I got a whole bag of them now. Since Kentuckiana, I have a whole bag of those. But they are for the squad.
The squad.
that group of troublesome bachelors known as
The squad.
The squad.
How
their
troublesome
with
can
their
they be? They're
matching-
mostly missing their crotches.
with their matching handbags.
That's the trouble.
There's
That's the
some trouble.
Yeah, the eunuch squad is going out on the town tonight, boys.
I'll be lining up for that scene in History of the World.
Mhm.
He's a eunuch.
Mhm.
He's a eunuch. He's dead.
He's dead. That's true. Diana Davis has it correct. 148 is tight, but his bag is wanting.
Mhm.
And that's fair. That's fair. Fair on all counts.
Get
That's,
that bag.
As as dirty as you want to make it. It's right there.
For an entire decade straight, whenever my daughter or I would say the word tight, the other one would say like a tiger.
Right.
And we did this for a decade. And then finally one morning, Elizabeth said, get ready for school. I think my backpack's a little too tight. And I said, like a tiger. And my wife went, what are you two talking about?
Finally
and
snapped.
it had built in her for a decade. And I'm
You
like,
couldn't just Google it?
no, because it's spelled different. It's tight with an O, right? Tight.
Toy.
Toy.
Like
Toy.
a tiger. Yeah.
Got to
So it
throw
built-
a real heavy Dutch accent on there. It's toy.
It built for a decade until she could take it no longer. That was one of my favorite memories. And Elizabeth and I just cracked up, right? It was a father-daughter bonding moment at the expense of her mom and my wife, but it was still worth it.
We all pray a little extra for the lovely Mrs. Weber. We can only imagine the horrors she deals with on a daily basis.
I myself am very toy.
You know, just the constant stream of hate towards Cody Rhodes,
Mm.
who is by all accounts a lovely human being.
Mm-hmm.
Diana even commented, as to that.
Heels on the
So-
left, heels on the left, baby faces on the right. Cody will come up through the floor in the middle. Sure.
Look, man,
He's the one with his own tattoo of his
Right.
own logo on his neck.
You're just
And
jealous because you
his
had
own-
that spot, and then he just
you're
ships you right out of the business.
you're just jealous that you don't have your own logo that is suitable for a neck tattoo.
Honestly, show me the first time a neck tattoo was a good idea
It's never been a good idea.
anywhere. Yeah,
Never been.
exactly.
You could get an MW like the Men's Warehouse logo. You could get that put on your neck.
Dude, if I were the big time pro athlete I should have been, I signed with an interlocking MW.
Oh,
It's fast,
there you
just
go.
like that. That's how I sign off on stuff at my day
Not
job.
too late to change your signature to an illustration of a you
It's a good
Right.
idea. It takes forever though, right?
Oh, you just
I mean,
throw
That's why you
I'll-
got to practice.
I'll sign for one kid.
you draw the little egg, you put the 3 legs on it, and then you put a little coil of smoke coming out of the top.
Not
Keep
bad.
it
It's
on
like
it.
Walt Simonson signing like a dinosaur.
right.
Like that. Bam.
We're kind of close to 2 hours, so why don't we say we roll into shout outs? Phil Donnelly, why don't you tell us a little bit about Articulated Points first?
That is my podcast that I share with Patrick Stewart, not Picard. And we cover G.I. Joe as well as a host of other toy topics and sometimes even Disney because I'm that kind of nerd. And we try and get into some deep dives and stuff and show off things that maybe you've overlooked, maybe you've never heard of. And, we just want to show off our toys. And just a little bit.
It sounds like an interesting concept, Phil. How did you come to co-host a podcast with the one and only Jean-Luc Picard?
Mhm.
Well, believe it or not, nor Xavier, he offered with me. He brought the idea up to me.
All right, there you go.
And
I'll
then
get some
used
hope.
his
Bro.
mental powers to make you say yes.
Phil was a walk-on in one of those Next Generation movies, and it continues to pay dividends.
There you go.
So who else you shouting out to, Phil?
Just my family. Nice to staying around. I never bring them up before, but hey, they're out there. And the letter W and viewers like you.
Ooh.
Phil was he considers the scientists at the lab that he was hatched at. That's family to Phil. So we don't. It's important that we get recognition for them here around the
Came out of a
Eastern.
giant cocoon like Adam Warlock.
There were many tales of my origins, some conflicting.
Rob's
Sometimes.
painting a better picture than I was. I was just going for the cheap gag, but okay,
It's more like the egg that Mork came from, but
right.
Well, there you go.
There you go. Mork egg. That's how it is.
That seems right.
That's
I don't
Phil
rate
is-
one of them fancy superhero eggs.
Phil has come up with the best dig for Phil. That's how it should be. Rack time, Rob. Shout out.
Shout out to Cody Rhodes, who's been besmirched on this program all night.
Right. I wanted known that I had nothing to do with that. I am in the Cody camp.
Yeah. To be clear, all I've said is raging narcissist. And if you guys disagree with that,
I've been in the Cody camp since he was in WWE the first time around. I thought handsome Cody Rhodes was one of the great gimmicks of its time. But go on, Rob.
A shout out to the studio audience for continuing to tune into our particular brand of nonsense every Tuesday at 9:05.
God knows why. Really, you should all get something. You should all get checked out. I'm concerned for all of you.
Yeah.
What else we got, Rob?
Shout out to Denny O'Neil and Irv Novick and Neil Adams for this. So
You're a little late on a couple of them. Probably all.
Well,
I don't know about
I
Irv
believe
Novick.
all three have passed. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking Irv Novick has been gone for some time, which is why I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, Irv Novick has been gone for he was doing comics in the 40s.
Right.
Ooh.
So
He
you kind of hope.
created the Shield for Archie.
I mean, you kind of hope Irv Novick is gone at that point, don't you? I don't want to be cruel here, but
Looking at a low pan situation.
yeah.
did you say low pants?
Correct.
Awesome.
Now we got Mark fired up again for the end of the show.
Oh.
Why don't you go ahead and shout out, Weber?
I'm excited about all of that. Shoot, I don't know. I really should have prepared something, right?
This is first time. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. It'll
It's fine.
it'll be fine.
Come out great.
Yeah.
Right
Hey,
now I'm dubbing words over him in post. So
Right.
if it sounds a little weird, it's because Mark has a cold and blew out his voice doing the doots before.
doing the flare dude. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, shout out to Joe Colton, right? Keep bringing up little baby Colton. So shout out to Joe and Wes. Still members of the What's on Joe Mind team, just on maternity leave.
Right. I had to get their t-shirt sizes for something. So they are still on the team.
Absolutely.
We saw some video of baby Mango Habanero's first swim.
Mm-hmm.
And baby Mango was handing out some premium side eye on that one. She was
Right.
She was like, I am not down with this. I need to speak to a manager. Like that kind of side.
X to doubt.
Yep.
Go on, Mark. Sorry.
That's enough. It's 3 people.
All right.
And I hope she's doing okay in the wake of this whole Recondo thing.
Thoughts and prayers.
She'll be fine.
Yeah.
I have a feeling she'll make it. I'm going to give a shout out to our own Phil Donnelly. Once again, thank you for doing yeoman's work this past weekend at WonderCon. We appreciate you. A good 400 or 500 people appreciated you live at least.
Over 500, yeah.
Yeah, so it was an impressive number. I will withdraw the shout outs for everybody who just stole your video without any kind of attribution or very little attribution. You know who you are.
I have one word for all those people. Boo!
My word would have been dicks, but that's fine.
That too.
But you're nicer than I am, Mark.
Boo!
Generally speaking. But give a shout out to Diana's Auntie Jan, who offered to babysit Claude and Postman Pat at her bonsai tree during San Diego Comic-Con. Make sure that her pets stay alive as possible. That's all we can ask for our pets is to have them stay as alive as possible. Give a shout out to all you guys in the live audience. We appreciate you showing up week after week after week. A lot of same names and a few new names this week. We're glad to have you. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to catch us next Tuesday at 9:05. If you're catching us on recording, that's okay. We love you too. You count just as much. We appreciate you just the same. And of course, if you're catching us on audio recording, you too. Whatever the format, we don't care. We're glad that you're on board, and we're glad that you're here for the ride and all of our silliness and stupidity and all that good stuff. Do make sure that you do those cool YouTube things for us. Head over to YouTube if you're not catching us there, and hit the like button in that corner. and the subscribe button in that corner and do all that cool YouTube stuff. Share us in your various social media circles, whether that's your Twitter handles or in threads or what's another one, Phil?
Blue Sky.
Sure. What's another one, Ragtime Rob?
The Instagrams.
Rob doesn't have any social media, so I'm throwing just a complete curveball there.
MySpace.
Friendster.
Right. Rob's still on the old PHP bulletin boards. And
I got a Geocities board.
Right, brought to you by Alta Vista on your Netscape Navigator.
Tell me more about your web ring.
that's at whatsonjoemind.com/helicopters, right, Mark?
Mm-hmm. It's alt.black.com/helicopters.
That's right. And so be sure you do all that. Again, if you got a couple of bucks laying around and can support us every month, just $1 every month at our coffee account down below gets you in our closing credits. We haven't added any new names lately. And more importantly, we haven't added any new nicknames. We need to get some friends up there for Martin Day and the Time, which is another one of the great nicknames I will never change. Even if Martin Day wants something else, I'm not changing that.
Too bad.
That's it. That has been deemed as perfection, and it will not be changed.
He will forever suffer from jungle love.
Right?
Oh,
Just like just like GD Lake being full of GD fish, and Mark's personal favorite, Julian Wolf, is hungry. Those are locked in. But if anybody else, if you're already in our credits and you want your nickname to be something else, let me know. Head over to whatsonjoemind@gmail.com. Send me a line. Let me know what you want your nickname to be if you're already one of our coffee backers. And if you're not one of our coffee backers, well, go be one of our coffee backers, and you can have a cool nickname in our closing credits too.
We do need to change somebody's nickname to Dan O'Brien, don't we?
What now?
So don't we need to change someone's nickname to Dan O'Brien?
Maybe.
You don't remember?
I don't remember. No.
Oh, well,
Matt Rubin obviously doesn't stay till the end. Yeah, you have a nickname, Matt Rubin, and I'm not going to tell you what it is.
You're going to have to watch.
But it rhymes with sandwich.
At which point, we are going to now stall for another 30 minutes so that Matt Rubin is further inconvenienced for not watching until the end. No, we're getting out of here. We'll be back next week with another episode of What's on Joe Mind. It might be another episode where Phil is here, but probably not. I'm working on getting guests for the next couple of weeks. We do have an anniversary show coming up, so be sure to be here for the 13th anniversary spectacular. I don't know what that's going to entail.
It'll be their lucky year.
I'm counting on my crack staff to come up with some ideas, and so far they have nothing.
You have a
Harry
staff.
Hulk Hogan.
You have a staff in your crack? Jeez.
He has a staff on crack.
So, anyways, you're staying in the bottom row now. Staying in the bottom row.
That's probably fair.
Welcome to my world.
Right? But anyways, that's all we got tonight. Be sure to join us next week at 9:05 for another episode of What's on Joe Mind. As our friend Vagon likes to say, stay safe, and if you can't, be careful.
I'm going to flash the camera.
For my guest host, Phil Donnelly, for Racktime Rob, for the honcho Mark Weber, I'm Mike Irizarry. Be sure to join us next time. Have a great rest of the week. Yo, Joe.
I'm flashing the camera.
Mo.
We're not getting the Busta Rhymes sound because Mark blew his voice out.
Mo.
Beer.